What's up, you guys? We are back with another episode of the Man Up Club Presents. Today, I am your host, Selena Lena, aka Sis of Sis and Low Bro, but I am also the Youth and Program Director of the Man Up Club. We are located in the Twin Cities. We're a nonprofit organization for young Black males between the ages of 13 and 24. And today, we're having a very interesting topic about God. Okay, we have a lot of different perspectives and things that we can explore about God. Just in general, So I have two guests here. I just want them to say hello. They are definitely affiliated with the Man Up Club very, very heavily. Chrome is a Man Up Club member, and DJ, his mentor is Mr. Dean. Okay, he is the founder and executive director of the Man Up Club. Y'all say what's up.
What's the word? What's the word? It's your boy DJ. I'm back again. I think they used to me, man. Are they used to me, man?
Yes.
What's going on? It's Chrome, man. Back on the scene.
Yep.
Second time.
Yep. Just say a little snippet about yourself, real quick. Age, your belief, your spiritual belief, and what you claim as far as like religion.
I'm 24. For sure, identify as a Christian. I'm just the coolest kid on your block, the coolest kid you know.
Okay. Period.
I don't know if I could follow that.
Okay.
I'm 25. I actually also run a nonprofit on the other side of the water, in St. Paul, called World Youth Connect. That's how I got connected with Mr. Dean, working with young people in the community, just working on leadership skills, workforce development, stuff like that, and then near peer mentorship, so just helping each other through whatever. So as far as my faith, I'm new-ish to the kingdom, if that makes sense.
So what kingdom? What kingdom?
The kingdom of God. The kingdom of God.
What? There's lots of kingdoms of gods.
Yeah.
So
no. So I'm Christian. I'm
Okay.
Christian for sure. Yeah.
All right.
No doubt.
Okay. And me personally, I am also a Christian. We just happen to be Christians. But here's the thing, guys. Even when it comes to discussions about God, being Christians, you can still come from different perspectives and think different things, believe it or not, because we do share the commonality of being human. Okay. So let's get into it. First things first, how do y'all feel about people using the word universe instead of God? Because there's a lot of people who, they especially in our generation today, our culture is so accepting, of everything. And so what I notice is that people be like, they'll say, whatever the universe like is telling me right now, like this bad thing happened to me, so I know I'm not supposed to mess with this dude, and like so that just means like the universe is pushing me towards being single, or like they'll talk about the universe. I have my own thoughts about that, but first I want to get y'all's take. What y'all think about that?
You want to take that off?
Man, honestly, I don't hear it as much as I used to. I don't know. I might not be listening for it as much neither.
Okay.
But I don't hear it as much as I used to. Now it's more like a spiritual thing. Like I don't knock the spiritual journeys. The people who do like the crystals and stuff like that.
Right.
I just don't all the way understand it. Like I believe in energy too.
Mm-hmm.
I do. But at the same time, I don't see how the universe can command you to do something.
Mm-hmm.
That makes sense. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I know a lot of people use universe. I think they just use that just because they don't want to say God. They don't like, or it's Jesus or whatever. They don't want to be connected to any of that. So it's just universe is whatever. You know what I'm saying? It's the air, birds, the bees, whatever. I don't know. I don't really have, like, I'm not mad at it. I mean, if that's what you want to say.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, to me, you're really just saying Satan. So
Yeah. So for me, like, when people say it, my first thought is like, okay, the universe is what God created. That's my personal perspective and belief is when you use the term universe, it's the thing that God created. The universe to me is this world, the earth, everything, space, everything beyond it, life, everything that exists, right? And God is the one who created that. So God is the umbrella above the universe. So to be honest, I be thinking it's silly when people say like the universe pulled me to do this. It's like, okay, but who created the universe though?
I mean, but they just using it as an excuse. I mean, like if I didn't make it to the show today and texted you like the universe just was against me, I don't think I was meant to be there. It's just an excuse. It's one of those things that I that's why I don't hear it as much no more.
Yeah.
It's not a real excuse. You know, it's not something. But talk about manifestation. People gonna do and believe what they believe and come up with.
DJ, you're saying a lot of things. So for one, you're saying people be using it as an excuse. So here's the other thing. There's people that think that you can still use God's name as an excuse. Like, for example, the example you just gave, if, let's just say you called an Uber here 2 times and both of the drivers canceled on you. And then it's like, some people would be like, oh, if that was me, it's just like, well, that means God, God didn't want me to do this podcast for some reason. Or like, for example, my dad, he was going out, he was trying to make it to a flight. He was running late and trying to make it, speeding to get to the airport. Literally, he could have made it in 5 minutes, but as soon as he ran up to the boarding gate door, the door closed. And then like the thought that went through his head was, well, maybe I wasn't supposed to get on that flight for a safety reason. I mean, thank God that nothing happened to the people who did make that flight. But we do tend to think like that. Like if, these things don't happen, it's God. So whether it's the universe or God, people can also see people using God's name, quote unquote, as an excuse.
And I just feel like God gave people free will to do whatever they want to do. I mean, like, for real. So, like, if you do something wrong and you blame it on God, because historically speaking, like, they talked about slavery. They talked about doing a lot of bad, like, genocide, like, killing people, like, and then put it in God's name, saying that God wanted them to do this.
Right.
And that's where I think people are a little bit too, that was my scare with religion in the beginning. Like, I don't want to use God's name in vain, or use him as a bad excuse.
Exactly.
That's like me being like, oh, it's Chrome fault that I put on this shirt today. Like,
could have been.
It could have been, but realistically speaking, I don't think that type of influence is even possible. Like, I don't think you could.
So you're saying that God, people use God as an excuse, but free will, what you said, free will.
Yeah.
That you can do whatever you want, and it's not all God all the time. He's probably letting it happen, but
oh man, I had to come to the realization that there's a devil.
Right.
There's another entity that works towards distracting us, towards getting us to do the wrong thing, towards encouraging the wrong thing, and it's not always God. It's not always God's fault that something happens. Sometimes God just let it happen. God knows. According to the Bible and what I understand, God knows it's going to happen.
Right.
But it's not always God's job to interfere in the path that you're on. That's where it get complicated a little bit, because it's like God knows.
And he allows.
He allows, of course. You got to look back to the great floods. Like a rainbow. A rainbow represent God not flooding the earth again. Like in certain aspects, people saw it as a bad thing, right? Some people see it as a new beginning. But it's really how you take it, and that's where I say free will come into play, because you can willingly let God guide you, like wholeheartedly. You could take your leap of faith and let God guide you either way, right?
Right.
But you got to understand that there are other things in the universe that can stop you or hurt you or harm you or put you in those situations.
Right.
Exactly. Other than God, like, you can't.
Yeah. I like how Chrome was emphasizing this whole idea that you have brought up of free will, because sometimes, for me, it's not only the devil, what is it called? Initiating something. Sometimes it's just us. You know what I'm saying? Like, for example, procrastination. Like, if I'm in school and I get an F or whatever, and then, or even beyond that, let's just say I'm just doing poorly in school, and it's not just an F on my paper, but I'm just like showing up late to class, things like that, having a bad experience overall with college. It's like, and I've been praying, I've been praying really hard, but I'm not really putting in the work. It's like, okay, but that was simply me. And it wasn't even the devil. You know what I'm saying? Like, it wasn't the devil. It wasn't God. It was me.
Right.
Yeah.
So,
accountability. Accountability is a big word, Some people don't want to take accountability for their actions, so they do that. They'll be like, oh, yeah, the universe said that I was supposed to steal Chrome's glasses because I wanted some Louis V.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like it'd be some BS sometimes. It'd be some BS.
And DJ, I also want to bring back what you mentioned earlier of believing in energies, right? Because that goes along with talking about God and the universe and things like that. So, like you said, there's people use crystals to, and see, I'm inaccurate because I'm not somebody who does crystals or does special rituals with crystals, but I do. My sister does some things with crystals, and there's other people who do believe in, earthly substances that bring about vibes or emotion. For example, it could be as little as the scent of lavender, right? Like people use lavender to calm your mind.
Yeah.
Here's what I believe when it comes to using earthly substances to initiate certain vibes and things, right? I believe that God created those things and he put everything on this earth for us to, like, we have what we need. So I do believe that, yes, lavender brings about a calming sense. Yes, incense, like it's a vibe, you know what I'm saying? And you can be intentional with those things. Like, I just think that people make a mistake when they start to idolize the earthly substances, like the actual stone and crystal. What is a stone gonna do for you? Why are you gonna pray to a stone?
I mean, I had to look at stuff a little bit differently too, because when my dad passed away, I was less religious. Church praying stuff like that was a turnoff. You know, it was one of those things I pushed away, pushed to the side. But what I did lean into was understanding like energy can't be created or destroyed. It could be channeled, right? You could channel energy into something. You could channel energy a certain way, or you could push energy. You could move energy, but you can't create it. You can't destroy it. So when people take these objects, right, and they say there's energy in them, I can believe that. I can look at. If you believe it, I can believe it. You know, and then there's a lot of science behind a lot of that stuff. So
and we're
when
going
you
to dive
say,
into
like,
that too. We're going to dive into that. We're going to dive into the science.
You know. But yeah, it's definitely like that. I don't think that people fully understand, like, when even if you talk about your soul, like your soul can't be destroyed. You know,
I believe that too.
I don't think that like spiritually you could be broken like that. You know, so I'm gonna leave it there. How you feel, Chrome? How you feel, man?
Yeah, a lot of these things, God works because we believe in him. These crystals and things, they work because you believe in it. If you don't ever believe in it, I don't think they would work. You know what I mean? It just matters how much belief you put into it. Yeah.
Wait, run that back.
Manifestation, you gotta believe.
You gotta believe.
Wait. But
believe is the key.
Okay, you gotta be. What is it called? On top of your words. So you said are you saying that in order for God to work, you have to believe in him?
For sure. I mean, he's always helping us out.
We got to get into that. Y'all. We got to get into
it. Come on, we can go.
We are back on the Man Up Club Presents podcast today. We're talking about God. We got into some really interesting conversation. Chrome said something kind of off the wall the last segment. He said, what you say about us believing that God worked? What did you say? Just repeat what you said.
So in order for God to work in your life, you got to be able to believe in him. Also
that's
with
controversial.
The crystals, what you think about it?
That's with anything. I ain't going, like I said, that manifestation, that free will that God gave us plays a big part into things happening around us.
Okay, so but here, okay, what you like, I feel like I understand where you're going, but what you're saying, it's almost like a, what is it called, like a heresy or like a taboo thing, because you're saying in order for God to work, then we have to believe in him. Yeah, it's like, yes, sure. Faith as a Christian, I believe faith without works is dead.
Right.
But God also does not need us.
Right.
He don't need us.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? He created us. He is the creator of everything.
Right.
And so it's like, whether I believe God or not, God is doing things. He making things happen in my sleep. You know,
for sure. God, he's not stopping for nobody. But I mean, if you want to tap into that power, you have to be able to believe. That's for you, not for God. God can take you out tomorrow.
You ever heard people compare God and religion to politics,
I have
where they
heard that.
like if you wanna keep a friend, don't talk about God or politics.
Yep, I've heard that. I've heard that before.
That comparison just in itself, or comparing God to anything as far as like political
Mm-hmm.
or
Mm-hmm.
humanly, is dumb in my head. I ain't gonna lie, just because
To compare God to politics is dumb.
yeah,
Because
because
why?
How so?
I made more friends talking about God and
Mm.
connecting with. It's a way to connect. Politics is a way to divide. You talk about Republicans, and these are two polar opposite things that don't go together.
Do you think God plays a part in politics?
Does God play a part in politics?
In order?
God, look on the back of your money. That's easy.
And
Yeah,
God
we
we
understand
trust.
that.
You know
And
that's
God we
easy,
trust.
bro. But you gotta understand, like, people can take that out of context. You
They
know,
sure can.
and they use, like I said in the beginning, they use God as an excuse. There, in my head, God should never be a way to divide people.
Right,
There's no way that you could use God to divide if He is.
I want to say that is so dope that you can say, oh, most people think that, you shouldn't be talking about God because it's obviously going to bring about division and controversy and make people feel uncomfortable. But you have that perspective for a reason.
Yeah.
And you have to understand that, well, probably the reason why those conversations that you have with people about God has brought you closer to people is because the people that you're talking to and yourself are mature enough to maybe agree to disagree. Or, you know what I'm saying? It's like, you're right. The way that you talk about God, it makes all the difference.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But if you're combative with it, that's why a lot of people, they don't like talking about God and things like that, because their experience with Christians or even other people who believe in certain faiths, unfortunately, has been negative. Yeah. And as Christians, the type of Christian that I want to be the person that somebody can think about, well, dang, like that's one of the Christians that actually, like, even though I don't believe what she believes, like she actually makes me feel safe, or she makes me feel like I can talk about what I believe and then also maybe even hear a little bit about what she believes and it's not threatening.
Right.
So I like that. So how do you guys know that God is real? Okay. How do y'all know that God is real?
How do I know God? I mean, you see the trees, you see the birds, you see the bees. Who put it there? I know Big Bang can't do it. I know, there's a lot of things. Even look at the body. The body repairs itself. Things happen that you see dreams. There's something else. There's some controlling. There's some controlling everything. You can't. The ecosystem. Everybody got food. Birds got food. We got food.
He said it.
You know what I'm saying? The bees got food.
Everybody eat.
The smallest parasite in your body has food. Who's giving these guys food, man? Somebody's controlling this. That's how I know.
Okay, so there are people who are atheists. They see the birds. They see the trees. They know they body work. But what I understand is that their belief is that, like you said, you brought up the Big Bang. That they could believe in that. They could believe that it's nature, it's science,
evolution.
Yeah, right, evolution. You know what I'm saying? There's people still believe, and I don't know if you guys believe that either, but yeah, that humans started off as apes and things like that. But
there's still monkeys at the zoo.
You said in the beginning, God is the umbrella. He's the creator.
Right, that's what I believe. Right.
Right. He created, and then let us create. He created and made creators.
But
right?
I'm playing
like that. So this is where people get real critical,
right?
Because even I seen an atheist in jail cry and pray to God after he got sentenced. So when people are in their worst position, they still look for something to lean on. It could be a person. But they look for that attribute in everybody, that godly sense in everybody. So they don't have to necessarily believe in God. And this is why I don't really argue with people about religion. If you believe in if you believe in your parents, if you believe in anything, then I can work with you. We can have a conversation about faith.
If you believe in
anything,
love, is
love,
that what you're saying?
If you believe in anything, if you believe in yourself, we could start having a conversation about God.
Okay, but you're saying if somebody's hopeless, that's when you can't have a conversation.
Yeah, when people are just 100% against believing in anything, when they wholeheartedly have given up belief,
Well, okay, see, the thing is here,
that's when it get
Atheists-
complicated.
atheism is the rejection of deities. It is the rejection that any God exists. So, yes, they believe in their parents. Yes, there's atheists that literally love as hard as I do. You know what I'm saying? In a sense, like, but it's like they just believe it's a different philosophy or line of thinking. It's like, okay, I like what you said, or you brought up a good point when you had said, you saw this, this atheist who got sentenced, and you ended up seeing him pray to God. But there are atheists who claim that because they don't understand one of the issues. They don't understand why, if there's a God, why is everybody getting shot up in school? Why are these innocent babies getting shot up in school? Why are people just dropping dead like flies? You know what I'm saying? I mean, in certain communities, people just dying every day. You got starving kids in other areas of the world. You know what I'm saying? All this suffering, cancer, constantly. Life is not fair. And then people look at, okay, why do the good people, why do they die? That's a problem a lot of people have. Why do the good people die so young, or why do they die so quick, or why do they die in the most horrible ways? And then you see bad people succeeding, getting up there, getting the money, getting the fame, or, just coming up because they're using people. They cannot, that don't make, if there's a God, if there's a good God, why is this stuff happening?
I said it before. Comparison is gonna be the downfall of most men. that's the easiest way to put it. Look, there's certain things that we can control, and then there's certain things that we can't. Unfortunately, we can't control other people. We could try to. We could use technology. We could hypnotize. I saw some hypnotist stuff and some other stuff. We could try to control other people. We can't. But unfortunately, the only person that you can really control is you. So when people sit there and they dissect or they question God, and then they're like, why is this happening, or what's going on over here, or I just got to let that be. That's not that I'm not going to say that's not my problem. It's not my, because I still feel some type of way. If something happens, I feel it. I feel it. But at the same time, I believe that God has a plan. And unfortunately, I've seen the holiest people go. I've seen the people who believe in God the most and live the best life and don't value the money. They really value like the people in their relationships, and I've seen them pass away.
Mm-hmm.
And in my head, if you really believe in God, then the spirit is eternal. It didn't go nowhere. That's why I said in the beginning, energy can't be created nor destroyed. So if you believe that people are getting destroyed because of these bad incidents and their souls are gone, or they just don't exist no more, then I can't agree with you.
What you think, Chrome?
Just
talking about all this, I know you got some thoughts in your head. Just like,
I mean, it's just like it starts in a home. In America, a lot of people are dead in America, but they're still living. It's the living dead. You know what I mean?
Like The Walking Dead.
Yeah, The Walking Dead. And that's a lot of what's going on. You know what I mean? Other countries, I don't know. I don't know why people are dying and stuff like that. Nobody knows the mind of God, but for sure he told us somewhere in the Bible. I just don't know where it's at.
Mm-hmm.
But for sure he had to let us know. You know what I'm saying? This is happening because it is human nature. People want to be God. People want to kind of control. A lot of people are under control. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't see death as a punishment.
It's not it just is.
I don't think death is the punishment.
Nah, death's not the punishment. No.
I think living was the punishment.
No, living was the gift, bro. No, living was the gift.
I think
living is a gift, bro.
Even
demons want to live, bro. In the physical realm.
A gift. Living is a gift.
The gift of life, bro.
The gift of life, right?
Mm-hmm. I agree with Chrome.
I agree.
But I know what you're saying. But I know what you're saying, though.
The struggle is the punishment, if that makes sense.
Yes. Okay. Thank you for clearing that up. It's not living that is, because you're right. You're wholeheartedly right. Like, I completely 110% agree with you, Chrome. But the struggle of life
is beautiful.
You just said
what are you talking about? You just said that. Right.
Bro.
It's a beautiful struggle. It's a curse and a gift. Life is exactly what you make it to a T.
See, he's speaking from wisdom. But you got to be clear though, because me and Chrome did catch that.
Say
You
what
caught
you
that?
mean.
You caught
Mean what
that?
you say.
Man up
you
lesson.
said-
Mr. D. Shout out Mr. D.
Shout out,
Say
Mr.
what-
Shout out Cross, man. Look, all I'ma say is life is what you make it. If you focus on all the negative stuff in life, then your life is gonna be negative. If you focus on the positive and the good of life, then you gonna notice there are so many good things going on. We just highlight the bad. Like if you watch the news, I could call 10 people doing something positive right now.
Right.
Out of 10 phone calls, I could call 10 people doing something positive right now because that's what they focus on. That's what they're doing. That's what I see from them. Now, those 10 people might have their flaws, but at the same time, I'm not calling them to talk about their flaws. I'm not calling them to criticize what they doing or how they dress or how they walk. That's not what I'm here for.
And let me just say, it's not about us ignoring the bad things, okay? Because we're not supposed to do that. But I would just say that a lot of bad things happen. It's not God.
Yeah.
It's the nature of people. Okay. So, oof,
I
y'all.
feel you. It's principalities and
all that stuff. So let's
principalities. I'm gonna
Every time
keep
you
going.
see that
Principalities
thumbs
in
up,
higher
exactly.
places, bro. You know what I'm saying?
Every time you see
There's
that
just
thumbs
like
up,
you
that boy
said. There's
Chrome.
more things that are in control. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's not.
Let's get into the next segment. What's up, you guys? We are back with Chrome and DJ. Okay, we are talking about God, getting in a real juicy conversation, y'all. Juicy conversation. So let's get back into it. Chrome had talked about demons, and we were just talking about, why do people not believe in God, and why do you personally believe in God? Then Chrome says something about, demons and things like that. So expand on your thoughts right now.
So we ended off talking about why bad things happen to people. And I ended off with there's demons and principalities in higher places that we can't see that are controlling things. And you had said something about, people see people having cars and money and status and or just living good on the outside, but never know what's going on the inside. People are really dead on the inside. People, the devil's gonna make it look good, but he's not gonna tell you what's going on the back end.
Yeah. And see, that's a whole nother conversation, because the temptations of this world, a lot of people see, it's the sex, it's money, like filthy rich money, because it's the idea of being in love with the fact that I can get whatever I want at my fingertips. If I got the money for it, 9 times out of 10, people gonna fold for money.
Yeah.
And that's why people say, the root of, why am I blanking on the most common statement? The root of all evil is money.
Really it's really the love of money. You know what I'm saying? The love of money. The money's
Because
not evil.
money in the Bible, money is in the Bible.
Yeah, for sure. God wants you to be rich.
Currency
Exactly.
is in the Bible. It's a
the
tool.
way you use it.
It's an object.
It's the love.
It's
People
the
love
love.
it too much.
Yeah.
It's the love. That's wisdom right there. It's the love. When you start to make money your God, okay, and you start compromising on your morals and things like that, that's when everything's going to go left for you internally. And that's what I think about when you say people be dead on the inside.
Hey,
Yeah.
and wait,
Right,
pause.
right.
I love money.
Hey, I love money too.
Let's-
Well,
money. God love
I
money.
don't worship money. I love money. I don't worship money. I love money though. I love money though.
yeah,
But I don't worship money. I love the clothes I got on,
right.
Me too.
but I'll burn them if it if it
right.
came down to it, But that's
like
where I
that.
think it's a big divide where people think if you love something too much,
Mm-hmm.
then you worship it.
Right.
No, I don't worship money. I love money. I love money more than I love some other stuff for sure. Talk about rain and weather and all the other stuff on the earth. There's certain things on earth I don't like as much as money.
Right.
But that doesn't mean that I worship money.
Exactly. I like that, and I agree with you, because I love being able to, let's just say, take a flight and see my family whenever I want. Money creates opportunity.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But like you said, don't make it don't worship it. Don't make it your God.
Yeah,
And God, what I believe as a Christian, God is a jealous God.
for sure. For sure.
But we kind of talked on atheism and things like that, and this is what I think about it. One of the biggest reasons why I believe in God is because the alternative thought that there's nothing after death, it doesn't make any sense to me. It does not make any sense to me. Like, okay, let's just say that I believed that there was nothing, after this life. Like that, if that's true, that means that the love that I shared between me and my grandmother, the woman that taught me how to read, the woman that taught me how to write, the woman that loved me more than she made me feel loved more than any other human did. And it's like, okay, the bond that I have with her, she's passed away now. But just because she's passed away, oh, that just meant nothing? Like, what was the point? What is the point of all of this? Like, what's the point of, protecting your loved ones? What's the point of getting riled up if somebody like disrespects your cousin or something like that? Like, what's the point of like marrying somebody and then like literally loving their soul? You know what I'm saying? Like literally loving their soul, and then when they die, oh, we just go to dirt. Like, if that's the case, this is kind of a morbid perspective, but it's like, with that perspective, I see how people can just kill people because, oh, it doesn't matter. Like, why? It don't matter. Like, why try to be good in this world if it doesn't even matter? And then, like, I understand the other perspective as well. Yeah, I believe that there's nothing after this. Like, there's no God or whatever. We are our own gods. But like, this is the life. This is the only life. And see, I cannot wrap my head around. It's like, okay, this is the only life. Well, dang, like,
Nope.
That's messed up too, because it's like, okay, well, there's so much suffering in this life.
I was having a conversation with Uncle Dave. Shout out David Hahn, the CEO from Urban Ventures, like literally yesterday about this exact topic. And he was like, when you die, how are you going to get into heaven? Like, you get to the gates and God comes to you and he says, like, why should I let you in? Y'all know the answer to the question?
Because I love you.
Bible study 101. Bible study 101 from DJ himself. John 3:16.
For God so loved the world that he
for God so loved the world that he gave
his only begotten son.
Yep.
Right? Yes.
That whoever believed in him should not perish but have eternal life.
Mm-hmm.
So when you talk about eternal life, not physical eternal life, like not physically living, like, but spiritually living forever. They say if you want to live forever, you have to believe that God sent his only son to die for us, for our sins, to give us eternal life. So to relieve us, and that's why I said before, life it's a blessing, for one, it is. But it's also one of our curses. It's one of those things that we worship. We worship life to an extent that when we die, we hate it. We hate death. But death isn't the say all be all. It's not the end. It's just a physical death. It's not a spiritual death.
Yeah, like you say that, bro. I created a whole brand. The brand name is death. Just the meaning of that is exactly what you said. John 3:16, you know what I'm saying? But it's focusing not more on life, but the death. Yeah. The death of yourself on the inside, you know what I'm saying? Killing the person on the inside so you can live life actually, you know what I mean?
Okay.
You don't gotta die, but you gotta die from the ego. You gotta die your ego so you can really live in this life. Like you can live in hell physically right now. Yeah. A lot of people are in hell, but you gotta know how to die from within to live in heaven physically. To have peace, you know what I'm saying? To have peace. Like peace is good. Like I was living in hell not too long ago. I'm just starting to grab a little piece of peace, and I'm understanding like, God, this is what you mean. Yeah. Anything you go through, somebody can die, somebody can blow up your house, but you're gonna be good because you got that peace.
Right.
That's real, Chrome. That is, y'all need to play him back, okay? If you listening to this episode, you need to play him back because it was just, first of all, it's heartfelt. I can tell it's heartfelt, but two, it's wisdom because it's like, okay, you said that's your clothing brand or that's the clothing brand you want to start?
Clothing brand.
Yeah. And so it's like the word for it is death. So you would think like you're repping death, but if it's like a deeper meaning.
Yeah, you got to understand, when you see death, it just catches your eye. So it's just casting your eye. But if you want to go deeper, you want to know the story about it, yeah, come over. I'll tell you.
I like that. I like that. You know, guys, talking about death. Okay, as as a person of faith, I'm growing with the idea. You know, like as of right now. Okay, actually, let me back up. Before recent times, I was very uncomfortable with death. I still am uncomfortable with death. But my relationship with it is I hate it. You know, I'm not one of those people that, you know, think like, okay, yeah, death is a passage to life. It's like, yes, I know that, you know, eventually I would like to get to that perspective, but like, it's just when I think about death, I associate it so much with just being ruthless, and it's a thief. You know what I'm saying? Like even in the Bible it talks about death comes like a thief in the night.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? And it's true. Like death don't care about race. Death don't care about age. Death don't care about what you did. It don't care about how much you love your grandma. It don't care about none of that.
Right.
It's nature and it's time. And you're just gonna get snatched up. And it's like, dang, death took my grandmother away. And for a lot of people, they feel that death took my mama away. Death took my brother away. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, it's so, I don't know.
Yeah,
like
I mean, Jesus died. He died.
Yeah.
Isn't that what we believe? We do communion. We drink the blood because he died.
Mhm.
We did this because he died. You know what I mean? Just because you died don't mean you dead. You dead. You still here, or you're alive, but you're just not alive here.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And Mr. Dean lesson 101. Mr. Dean, shout out Mr. Dean in the back of my head right now. Emotions and feelings are temporary, right? So when you attach death to an emotion, to a temporary emotion, you actually make it longer. Like you drag it out. You know, you take that emotion, and every time it's a trigger, you know, and that's not a bad thing. We emotional beings. We're supposed to feel. But when you take away the emotion from death, it's a celebration.
Right.
That's why what you saying with church, we celebrate.
Yeah.
We celebrate
Celebration of life. Yeah.
the celebration of the life that they have, not the life that they had. There's a clear line that people cross sometimes. They be like, they not living no more. No point.
Right.
It's the life that they have, because eternally they're not dead. They didn't go anywhere. And that was my peace. That's how I found my peace with my dad passing away. That's how I find my peace with my friends and my family members passing away, because in my belief, I have to understand that this is a celebration of them moving on to another chapter of life. And I might not be there yet. I'm not there yet, but everybody got to get there. There's not a person on earth who's not going to have to die.
Right.
You know, and just went to a funeral Friday, and we were talking about just how they come back. How do we keep them alive in memory? How do we celebrate them on a daily basis? How do we do the things that they can't do for them? You know, so to your point, I don't think people die spiritually. You could be spiritually dead. But I don't think you die spiritually. I don't think you die like that.
Yeah, I want to counter what you just said. You said that we should find ways to celebrate them still while they're not here. You know, I go against that just a little bit, because it's like they're gone. You know what I'm saying? They ain't never coming back. You know what I'm saying? We had a funeral, boom, eat some food, everybody go home, and that should just be it. You know what I mean?
Nah.
It really should. The funerals really should be a celebration, because it's like, dude, if we really know how you live, if you live for God for real, we should be celebrating. Like, bro, he's gone. You know what I'm saying? He's kicking it with God, or about to be. You know what I mean?
Right.
But, you know, it's just got to be, they hear the funeral, boom. You know what I mean? We celebrate them. We know that they're in our memories, but it's like, then you kind of worshiping the dead, I feel like, at that point.
Nah, not not worshiping, but
Cherishing
I love my
the memory?
dead. I love my dead. Like I said,
Okay.
I love them. I love them to another level, especially after I can't pick up the phone and call them no more.
Right.
I don't worship them. I'm not praying to my dead. I'm not asking them for a blessing.
True.
Worshiping and loving are two different things, and that's why I said it's a.
Yeah, he threw the thumb up.
Hey, but we gonna get back into it. We gonna get back into it, man. What's the difference between love and worshiping?
Welcome to the Man Up Club Presents. We are having a very interesting conversation on God And we're going to close it out with the last segment, guys. This is a conversation that continues on for ages and generations. Okay. How was that? That was good?
Yeah,
Okay.
beautiful.
Okay,
Beautiful.
so
Beautiful.
here's the thing about this. We're talking about the afterlife,
Yeah.
okay? Speaking of the afterlife, do you guys believe that after we die our first physical death, the one that everybody knows, are we going to come back with new bodies? Or are we just going to be spirits? That's a very thought about question.
So, reincarnation, right?
I want to be a frog.
Okay.
A frog is a freak.
That's just okay.
Almost went the wrong way.
Why a frog? No. I would want to be a lion.
We not gonna go that way.
All right.
All right, so look, I believe in spiritual attachments. Okay, so you talked about your grandma. I talked about my dad. Spiritually, I'm attached to these people. Now, and they say when you reincarnated, you tend to do the same things. You meet the same person, the love of your life, the person that you're supposed to be with. You go find those people because of your spiritual attachments. I believe it's the same way in death. When you pass away, you go and find those spirits that you're attached to, right? So, and that's why when you attach to God, you go find God. God is there.
Because it's of his spirit. That's why as Christians we say we are of the same spirit. You know what I'm saying? So when we proclaim, okay, that God is the Father, Jesus Christ is our personal Lord and Savior, we share that faith. That's what sharing the faith is. It's let's all go back. Let's be in the family of that spirit. So all the souls who are part of that family, that's how we're able to connect with each other in the afterlife.
Yep. And I think when people pass away, a piece of them stay and a piece of us goes. So like I invested so much time and was around people so much that I honestly feel like they was a part of me. So then when you talk about us not being sad, I can't help but cry, but at the same time I'm a father. When my kids was born, I almost cried, bro, because it was a piece of me that came to life, So there's this understand, like, for one, tears don't make you weak. Tears don't mean that you sad all the time. There's happy tears. There's happy tears. But at the same time, understanding like those emotions, they can be temporary, but that feeling sometimes is like everlasting. Like the way that I felt when my dad cracked a joke, I still be feeling that sometimes. Like certain times, like certain things happen and you still just feel it. You deja vu earlier, it's just certain feelings that you have or certain instances where you could really emphasize that person.
Okay, so do you believe that after we die, it's just a spiritual life?
Nah, I don't
Do you think that
so.
do you think that you'll be physically reborn again? Like, yeah.
No, I believe in mirroring, when like you can, or like when the dead actually show themselves again through something. You ever heard of like those signs like the wind blow a certain way and you hear somebody like speaking in your conscience. So like subconsciously living with us,
But
like
you
through
don't.
our memories, I believe is another way of like reincarnation. Because if I fall asleep right now, I dream about my dad, I dream about my friends. I don't think,
You gotta be careful with that for sure, because I'm pretty sure in the Bible, I don't know where you can find it. Once you're dead, you're dead. You have no connection to the physical life until the second, like, till it's all over. You know what I mean? You can listen to the spirits. You know what I'm saying? Like you said, a dream. You know what I'm saying? People can come back in your dreams, but who are they? You know what I'm saying?
Subconsciously. That's why I said not.
It's subconscious, but they're gone though. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And a demon can transform into anybody. A demon can transform into an angel of light. Why can't it be your dad or your cousin or your brother, or you know what I mean?
They never said we couldn't get influenced by demons after being baptized. They said that they can no longer possess you, if that makes sense. So when I leaned into my faith more and I started looking into like why even get baptized, like what was the point? They say once you honor God and Jesus Christ, then no evil entity can take over your body, right?
Take over doesn't mean it can't be in your mind, can't be around you.
I mean, if you in my mind, I feel like you're taking over my body. So subconsciously, I'm basing those images and those visions off of something that I've already experienced. So I don't think it's like something new. It's not like my dad coming and telling me like, "Oh yeah, DJ, go do something crazy."
Guys, as you can see, it's obviously a tough question
Need more time.
because
Just said we need more time.
I know. It's obviously a tough question because both of y'all ain't answering in affirmative.
About
But
what? About what? What's the
about-
question?
Do you think?
Reincarnation.
Well, actually, DJ, you
I
did.
don't believe in reincarnation. You do,
Not
right?
reincarnation, but do you think that you'll physically have a body for eternity?
No, we just gonna be in the like spirit, our soul. That's
Like,
it.
Okay, so y'all
you
both
think
believe
I'll
it's
get
just
another
soul.
body?
Or
I mean,
have the same body, but it
God
be
could
perfect.
send you back
no,
to Earth.
no, because think
He said,
about
"I
it. Think
want
about
my
it. Think
body."
about it.
I
Think about
feel
it.
like
Think
God
about
could
it.
send you back to Earth.
Think about it. Think about like why
I
would he
think he
send you
could
back to Earth though? He only did that for Jesus for a reason.
But like I said in the beginning, energy cannot be created nor destroyed.
Exactly. So our soul was created, right? Or it's
Yes.
always been, right? God
Yep.
knew us before the womb.
Yep.
So it's not gonna die. We just
Okay.
our physical body's gonna die. You know what I'm saying? We can touch.
Right.
Our spirit's not gonna die.
Okay.
So we just gonna be a spirit.
No. You just
But
said
think
God.
You
about
can
this.
agree to disagree,
Okay,
though.
look.
I know.
We need to pull a verse
with
up
him because he
because when Jesus died and he came back,
yeah.
nobody didn't know what he looked different, right?
Yeah, sure.
So that was his elevated body. It didn't look the same as his physical body.
But how could
So that's why we shouldn't pay attention to the physical body.
Right. I look good. But on a different
Hey,
note,
hold the mic.
on a
hold the
different
microphone
note,
to your mouth.
how could God know us before our physical?
What?
Dude, how you going?
Wait, hold on. Pause.
He said
Yeah,
God
yeah.
knew us before the womb.
Of course.
Of course, God knew us before the womb.
Okay, so is there a possibility that we come
always
back
been?
again?
That we
I
come
think
back.
we've always
been
been
here before. Is there a possibility since he
Or-
already knew us?
Yes.
We already was there.
Right.
Because how do you? It's like the
And you
chicken
mean in
and
heaven?
egg question. Was I a spirit or was I human? Was I
Okay,
physically here
that's
first?
a wonderful point. That's a wonderful point. Let me
Go
say
ahead, go
this
ahead.
real quick.
Go ahead.
Let me
Go
say this real
ahead.
quick. That is a wonderful point. So yes, since we believe that God knew us before we were physically born, yes, we were alive then. But wow, that's actually crazy. I never thought
Read the
about it.
Bible.
Like that.
Read the
But
Bible.
we were
Pull up
alive,
the Bible verse.
But see, I think he knew us before we were physically born because God has always been.
Right.
He's always been. The Lord has always been here.
Right.
Yeah, like time is
Right,
irrelevant
right,
to
right.
God.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like God knew at the beginning of himself that we would be here. We just didn't know we were here. When we didn't exist, we didn't know. What's up?
Think about this. All right, what if we, like you said, our soul's been here and God knew us, we was kicking in heaven with God, but made a choice to come to the physical since life is a gift. What if you just came here with a choice, but you forgot? So we got to repent.
I don't
You don't
believe
feel
that.
that?
I don't feel that because God is the one that gave us life.
Right. Physical life. Spiritual life.
It all starts with
All
God.
life.
We can't exist without God. That's
Yeah,
the point.
Right. But I mean,
So we didn't have
apparently we did, though.
we didn't have a
existed
choice
with
before God. Is what I'm saying. We don't have a choice. We didn't have a choice before God.
Right.
What do you mean by that?
Because you just asked. You said, do you think that since we existed before, we physically were here, do you think that we chose to be in this life? No, I don't think that we chose. That was all God's
You
doing.
don't
think
We
we
didn't
chose? You
choose
don't
to
think
be
we
here.
chose?
I don't think you could be born in hell neither.
I don't believe that either. No,
You
I
have
don't
to be
believe you.
sent.
No, yeah,
to
you got to be sent.
hell.
Exactly. That's what I believe.
If all spirits are created in heaven, let's just start there. If all life is created in heaven,
Ooh.
right? Then you have to go. There's a middle ground, right? And I think life is the middle ground. Life, the way that you live determines whether or not you're allowed back into the heaven gate.
Guys, there's so many things. Let's go
Right.
back to what you said
Right.
earlier, where you obviously you read John
3:16.
3:16. You know, if you believe in God, then you'll have eternal life. What about the people who never know about Jesus Christ? Do you think that there are people who will never know in this lifetime?
There's
Oh, for sure.
there's another saying.
You said what, Chrome?
For sure. I mean, God tells our hearts. If you want to call him Jesus, call him Jesus. You want to call him God, Yahweh, whatever. He knows your heart. He can tell what's in your heart. So, I mean, we can't know if God's going to sell somebody to heaven or hell. they could live the best Christian life to us with our eyes that we see, but their heart is weak.
No, I'm talking about even past Christians. I'm talking about, like, let's just say you have a Buddhist or whatever, but
Buddhist.
they never hear about, oh, Jesus. And do you think that all people eventually come to know who Jesus or hear about Jesus to have an opportunity to say yes to Jesus?
So when you talk about like being famous or like you talk about like being successful, there's this guy who told me, it's not about who you know, it's about who knows you.
Mm-hmm.
I think if God knows you, to your point, if God knows your heart and he sees you and he understands why you're not accepting or what you're going through, then I think God is the most forgiving. I don't think that he's going to just send you somewhere because you don't understand. He's going to try to help you understand. And that's why I said before that he'll watch you go through something. I really do. Like, I believe God knows. Like, he watches us go through this pain sometimes because he needs us to understand that he's there for us.
So do y'all think that, well, there's obviously souls that go to hell. I mean, as a Christian, that's what I believe.
Yeah.
So
We
do you believe
bound.
So do you believe that Hades?
I mean, there's hell, there's a lake of fire. You know what I'm saying? They said hell's gonna be cast into a lake of fire, which is called the second death.
But DJ,
don't
you
wanna
had
get to
you
that,
had
what?
said, it's like on the tip of my tongue, but you had said that, or my memory, that God knows your heart, right? Okay, but what about the people who? That's what I'm saying. Do you think people get bad because of their own decisions?
No, I mean, I could have died before I got baptized.
Guy, we talking about some existential.
Like, I'm just saying, like,
She's
I
talking
could have never started my journey with God. I just started this year.
Mm.
I don't think that God would have been like, oh, because you didn't start your journey, I'm not going to work with you now.
Mm.
Like, on a different level, like after I die. I don't think he just, with my understanding with God, I don't think he just going to close the door and be like, oh, you had your time on earth and you were supposed to listen to all those people that were telling you to believe in me and you didn't. I don't think he's going to.
With that being said, y'all, with that being said, you know, I believe that, yes, God he'll make sure that everything ends up where it's supposed to be, okay? Like, everything will end up where it's supposed to be. God doesn't make mistakes. Okay, guys, I know we have to wrap this up, but, you know, we will continue this conversation about God because we can just keep going with this. We can do that. So tune in, guys, next time on the Man Up Club Presents on an extended conversation about God, the universe, existence, life, death, heaven, hell, all that. Continue to listen. We are on Holy Culture Radio. Okay, this has been Chrome DJ and I, Selena. And if you guys want to support the Man Up Club, go to themanupclub.org. Okay, Instagram is themanupclub.mn. Y'all check us out.
E.
Cool.